just completed a video that was titled "It's Okay to Fail," but I'm gonna do another one. It's not easy to fail. And I know this all too well. I told the story in my last one about my brother failing grade 3, grade 6, grade 9, and then quitting school for a while and then going back and finishing. All right. And when he failed grade 3, I remember that day, and I was only 4 years old. And I remember how devastating it was for him. He came home crying, went up the stairs, and I didn't really know what happened, but I found out later that he failed. And I made a point at that time, only like 4 or 5 years old, that I was never going to fail at anything. And I was going to really, really, really do everything I can not to fail, because failing was a bad thing. And so when I went to grade 1, I was the top kid in the class only because I came home from school. The first thing I did is I sat at the kitchen table and I did my homework until it was done, and it had to be done 100% perfect before I finished it. Nobody told me to do my homework, and nobody encouraged me, and nobody helped me because I figured it out myself. I didn't want anybody to help me. I was going to do it myself, and I was not going to fail at it. And even though I was the top in the class, I was afraid that I had failed. And so that's how bad it was. And so there's another part to the, it's okay to fail. And it is okay to fail, but for some of us, for a lot of us actually, we don't feel like it is okay to fail, right? And a lot of that too, stems from our early childhood. My childhood was very weird. I was abused and I was neglected. My mother is a narcissist, and she told us early on, when I was as early as I can remember, that she hated us. She didn't want to have us. She hated kids, and she couldn't wait till we grew up and moved away, and we were just a burden. And if she had to do it over again, she wouldn't have kids, and it goes on and on and on and on. So I thought I was a burden, and I didn't want to be a burden, and so I had to do everything perfect, and I needed to be just the most perfect person in the world. Or it didn't have anything to do with, or I wouldn't be loved, because that wasn't a thing. The love didn't exist in my world. And so just to be less of a burden. And so for a lot of people, things weren't perfect, right, when they were growing up, and things weren't good. And so they felt like, okay, so I have to do things in a very perfect way, or I am not going to be seen as being worthy of living, I guess it was. And so that's the second part of the video that I just did. And I am doing these videos. This is me on my balcony. Right now, I'm on medical leave. I've been on medical leave for a year now, and I spent for the last year standing on the balcony with drinking my tea and just thinking about life, thinking about how I got to where I am, and thinking about where my life is going, and the things that maybe would have been better if I had taken a different route, or things that I can change, and the meaning of me and spirituality. I would go during this year. I take a lot of walks, and I just think of what happens to us when we die, and what's going on when we're here. We know that the reality that we see right now isn't like the total reality that exists. There are forces around us molding us, shaping us. And for me, being on medical leave, I really believe that happened for a reason, and I don't know what that reason is, but I was kind of drawn to watching YouTube videos because I was off and I needed something to do during that time. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll do my own YouTube videos or try it. It'll take up some time and it'll be fun. And so I don't know if that's where some of this is heading. I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, so I decided to start to do a series of, I do food in focus because I do have a nutrition background. And so I do some food in focus ones, just talking about food. I talk about gluten-free. I talk about reading the food label and organic foods, and soul in focus because I'm really getting into a spiritual, like I feel like there are guides around us and helping us out, getting us through certain things and explaining to us that that this is going on and you're learning a lesson, and just bear with us. And so I'm doing some of that. And I want to do some of these on the balcony ones because this is where I've spent a lot of my time in the past year, on my balcony in Burnaby, British Columbia. And this is a typical kind of winter day. I don't know, it's about 7 degrees and it's foggy and it's rainy. And in the summer it was like kind of hot. So yeah, this is something that I just wanted to share with everybody, and I hope you enjoy my videos, and thank you very much for watching.